Can I tell you something crazy happened in our family at Easter Mass yesterday? We went, the five of us, and we went to the 9 a.m. Mass, and we got there early because we knew that it would be, there are a lot of people, a lot of Catholics only go on Christmas and Easter. We are not five of them. We go every week, but we knew that it was going to be extra crowded. So we got there about 15 minutes in advance. I thought that was going to be enough to get a seat. Wrong. We did not get a seat, even though we were 15 minutes early, which seems like a lot to me. Anyway, we didn't get a seat. So we wound up standing in the aisle, which was toward the front of the church. We didn't stand in the way back because, we were close enough that we were almost seated. Anyway, so the five of us were lined up along the side of the church wall, right by a window and to the side of the pews and to the other parishioners. And we made it all the way through to the homily. And during the homily, the way we were standing, it was Yates, our eldest, who's 16, next to him, Doug, next to him, Thatcher, who's 12, then me, then Yardley behind me as you're looking at the front of the church. And as we get to the homily, the priest was giving a very nice homily. It was, of course, obviously it was about the resurrection, but it was more than that. It was like apologetics. It was all about the proof. How do we know Jesus was resurrected? What is the actual hardcore proof of it? And as you may know, because you listen to this show, I've been very, very into that ever since Charlie died, and I've been reading everything I can get my hands on to educate me on it. And so I was like, oh, this is right in my wheelhouse. I was very into it. And in the middle of the homily, my daughter Yardley, who's 14 for another week or so, said, "Mom, tell Thatcher and Yates to bend their knees." And I didn't know what she was saying that for. I figured, like just to stay comfortable or whatever. But I was like, honey, listen to this. This is important, right? Because it was right in the middle of the homily. Well, within like a minute or so, the priest ended the homily. And Thatcher, who's right in front of me, my 12-year-old, turns around and said, "Mom, I feel nauseous." I'm like, uh-oh. So I'm like, okay, let's go outside. So I told my husband, my older two, we're going to step outside for a bit. So we start walking down a very crowded aisle. It's, how it is on Easter. It's like people on, like completely crowded. But anyway, we're making our way and he's going really slowly. He's walking right in front of me. I have my hands on his shoulder. And I go, "Honey, do you think we can go a little faster? Because I'm worried he's going to throw up in the middle of the aisle." And he didn't respond. So I kind of peeked around to look at his face and he did not look good. He looked ashen. I was like, oh no. And just as I'm realizing he doesn't look good, he starts to go down. He goes down. I'm like, oh my God. So he kind of crumbled almost. It was like a slow-mo faint crumbling forward. I grabbed him. There was a nice man at the end of the pew who kind of reached out and helped grab him so that he didn't have a hard fall. And then we laid him down to where like I had his head and one of the parishioners was like, put his feet up. By this point, Doug and my other two had run over. And so Doug got his feet up. I took off my jacket, put it under his head. And now you're just kind of waiting for him to come back. He was gone, he not gone. I just mean he was like clearly unconscious and it was obvious he had fainted. And now you just have the waiting game of like, what's going to happen next? Everyone in the church was so sweet. People were like, "Here's some water. Do you want us to call a doctor?" I'm like, "I think he's going to be okay." You could tell like he was breathing and he was like able to move. He was just unconscious, or I think you do call it unconscious when you've fainted. And sure enough, he opened his eyes back after, I don't know, a minute roughly. And then he slowly kind of sat up. And I'm not, as soon as I realized he totally was okay and it was a faint, it took everything in me not to cry out, "He is risen!" I didn't do it. Like this, that's inappropriate. We've already been disruptive enough. But it occurred to me. Anyway, we got him up and we walked him out. And can I tell you, he was like fine. As soon as we left the mass, like he got some fresh air. Obviously his vasovagal situation resolved. And my husband joked, because we go between two different churches, and my husband was like, "We could still make the 9:45 at this." Of course, my kids' eyes are like, "What?" We did not. So we did not. I don't think we technically fulfilled our Sunday obligation because we did not get communion, but we had a good reason. I think God understood. And then today, okay, so then my daughter was like, Mom, you should have told him to bend his knees like I told you. I'm like, what? That was about not fainting. And now in the past 24 hours, I have learned so many parents have had this happen with their kids in this exact way. Or it often happens, I guess, at choirs, like chorus performances where kids are standing for a long time. And my daughter Yardley had heard this from her middle school principal, who told them a story about a girl passing out while on the choir roster on the top of the top riser, and she got hurt. Now she always reminds the girls, bend your knees when you're standing up straight for a long time. And I just asked online, AI, this morning, is it common for kids to pass out when standing for a long time with locked knees? The answer, yes, it's actually pretty common, especially in kids and teenagers. What you're describing is the classic setup for a brief fainting episode called vasovagal syncope. Syncope. Why it happens when someone stands for a long time, locks their knees, and doesn't shift their weight or move, it reduces the normal muscle pumping action in the legs that helps blood return to the heart. This can lead to blood pooling in the legs, a temporary drop in blood pressure, reduced blood flow to the brain, and fainting. Kids and teens are especially prone because their nervous systems are a bit more reactive and they may not recognize the early warning signs. Then they say it shows up a lot during school assemblies, choir or performances, ceremonies like graduations, parades, church services, standing information like scouts or ROTC. Warning signs: most kids feel something first, like dizziness, lightheadedness, nausea, sweating, tunnel vision, which he also told me later that he had, ringing in the ears. So in any event, he was fine. They say that prevention is don't lock your knees, just like Yardley said, keep a slight bend, shift your weight, or subtly move your legs, stay hydrated, and eat beforehand. Indeed, he had skipped breakfast yesterday morning. So what a crazy situation. Good to know for us and for other parents out there and for kids. My daughter was right. Lock your knees. What the priest was saying, it was important, but as it so happened this particular Sunday morning, what my daughter was saying to me was more important for my particular family, and I wish I had listened. So anyway, there was our drama. He was fine, and we had a very nice Easter, spent it together, the five of us.